Yeah, I think we're live.
I'm ready.
Alright. Just give me this. Alright, guys. Welcome to episode 23 of the Nerd Crew podcast. We are so glad that you are here with us today as we are back and recording 2 weeks in a row without a break. We're doing well this week. But this is the podcast all about Marvel, DC, Star Wars. Man, you hate Groot.
I know. I hear Groot over like every week. It's so sad.
Anyways, it's the podcast about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, video games. Really anything you can put your nerdy mind into. That's what we talk about. And we love talking about it. I am your man, Andy York. And as always, I am joined by the goose to my Carol Danvers.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that one. Jason Lee. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had to think about it for a minute, but yeah, I'm alright.
Good. If you hear music in the background, that's not us. We have a band practice right outside our door, so don't worry about it. We will just enjoy the music as we're talking as well. So we'll try to talk over it. Yes, Nico, this is a mad scramble to get ready. It happens every week. No matter how prepared you think you are, it still takes a while to get ready. So
the music makes it feel very intense, which is good because we're kind of like, not in a bad way, but we're kind of a low energy podcast. We're a pretty chill podcast. You know, so this kind of adds a new dimension.
It does. And
to our audio.
Yeah, and no, I totally didn't rip the Only Stupid Answers podcast intro there. I totally did not, even though I did.
Of course not.
Hey, if they didn't want me to use it, they should have copywritten it. Copywritten. I'm not an English major, so who cares? Copywrote. Thank you.
That's totally correct.
Thank you. But yeah, we are so glad that you're listening, whether it is on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, or if you are watching this on our YouTube channel. Every Tuesday we go live to talk about everything in the world that you can think of, anything nerdy you can think of. And this episode is going to be a little different because you're going to see a meaner side of us, I think.
Yeah.
Towards the end, at least, we'll have a meaner side of us because we both got something I think we want to get off our chest about how stupid fans can be sometimes and how stupid nerds can be sometimes. But we'll get into that. So it's that time of the week where we like to talk about what we are into this week. So Jason, while you are fighting with your mic,
desperately trying to fix it, yes.
Man, the mad scramble for this is great.
This is another weekly issue for me. It's like as soon as we begin the podcast,
it just all falls apart.
Fix my mic.
It just stands up and.
So you know what? I'm just gonna.
I think they have a pill for that or something.
That was good.
Thank you. I'll be here all podcast.
What I'm excited about this week is I finished Stranger Things Season 2. So now I'm all caught up on Stranger Things. It was awesome. It was super great. I really enjoyed Season 1, and I felt like it was really tightly written and very enjoyable overall, and it introduced a whole cast of enjoyable characters. From what I know, they kind of planned everything that comes after Season 1 kind of later in the process, so they didn't initially plan for a Season 2, but I feel like they did a good job at carrying over those characters, kind of putting them into a new situation and keeping it interesting and compelling. Mm-hmm. The finale to Season 2 was incredible. Really, really amazing, and I just finished that this morning, so I still got residual hype from that. That's really cool.
I've actually never seen Stranger Things. It's a show I probably need to watch at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I need to jump into it. Mad Scramble is my favorite dish at IHOP. That's a good one. What I'm into this week is our other podcast we do, New World Wrestling. If you're a pro wrestling fan, check it out. Myself and Nico from New World Nerds, who claims he's a champion, but he's not really. He's a paper champion. He's not a real champion. But we do a podcast every week where we talk about Raw, SmackDown. We also talk about pay-per-views. We do predictions. I have to do a punishment because I lost the predictions. And so we don't know we know what the punishment from WrestleMania will be, but we don't know what the punishment for this one will be. We're talking about me having to, for a minute solid, have to just do nothing but compliment him, which would be very hard to do, very difficult to do. But we'll get there. We'll talk about all that. But we go live. We do our live stream for that podcast every Thursday. So check it out. I think we're going to do 2 weeks from his channel, 2 weeks from our channel, that type of thing. We'll bounce back and forth. So if you're a wrestling fan, look for that. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. We enjoyed doing it every week when his phone doesn't die right in the middle of the stream, which happened last week, which is a lot of fun. So there was a lot of news that came out this week, and there's a lot of up in the air. There's a lot of things that people don't really. They have different takes on. I think me and you're going to have a different take on this first one we're going to talk about, which is kind of unusual. Like, we normally kind of have close to the same opinion on some things. I don't think we will for this one. And that is Robert Pattinson, the man from Twilight himself, is talked about being the new Bruce Wayne in the DC, or Worlds of DC, or whatever it's called. What do you think about that? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think?
I would really enjoy it. I would really enjoy it. I think it could be a really great casting decision. I don't think, and this is just kind of a thing with Robert Pattinson. He doesn't want to be remembered as the guy who did Twilight.
I don't blame him.
And he is an amazing actor, and he's done a bunch of projects that are kind of out of the limelight that aren't as popular as when he was in Harry Potter or Twilight. I think it's a role that he could really get absorbed in. And I think that people don't realize how many dimensions he has as an actor. But if he really beefed up, I think that he totally has the charisma to pull off Bruce Wayne, but also kind of the intensity to do it. I don't think he's a Batman that I would build kind of like a DC EU around. But if you were to do a series or just a one-off like Christopher Nolan's movies with Christian Bale, I could totally see it. I think it could definitely work.
Yeah, my only issue is the only thing I've seen, because I haven't seen Harry Potter either.
Right.
I know that's a total crime against being a nerd, but I've never seen Harry Potter. I'm not a big fan of him. Like I'm ashamed to say, I've seen I think almost all the Twilight movies.
Oh wow.
Which I'm not proud of. I was forced to see most of them. I went and saw the first one, and then after that, I was forced to go see the rest of them.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was like torture. So I'm not a big fan of his. I mean, I think he's an okay actor. He's just, when I look at him, I don't see Bruce Wayne.
Right.
And like even with Affleck, like he didn't look like Batman, but he at least sort of looked like the part of Bruce Wayne. And I don't think you're going to find anybody like a Christian Bale, or if there is, I don't really know. To be both Bruce Wayne and Batman. We haven't really found somebody that mixes both really well. And I don't really know how he would do with that. Like I'm not really sure what to really think. I'll probably have to go and see him in some other stuff to really form an opinion. But as of right now, I don't think that would be the best move for the Worlds of DC, because they're already like teetering. Like they're already like one wrong move could really do a lot more damage than what's already been done. And so I don't really know if he is the guy that you want to be Bruce Wayne. I definitely don't think you want to build the Worlds of DC around him. I really don't think you want him to be your main Batman. Like a one-off I think could work, but I don't really think they need a one-off right now.
I agree with that.
Which,
definitely.
If you want to do a one-off in like 5 years from now, that's fine. But you still have to come out with the Batman movie that you want to build around, like to put in with these other characters. And I don't think he fits that role.
I do agree with that. Yes, for sure. I would just say I could see it, and I think it could totally work. I don't think he's the best choice, and I certainly don't think he's someone to replace kind of Ben Affleck's role. I think he would be better than Ben Affleck, just,
My dog would do better than Ben Affleck at Batman.
Well, in Justice League, yes, I agree with that.
Batman versus Superman as well. Yeah, I did not. Anyways, that's another.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I've seen all the Twilight movies, but I haven't seen Harry Potter. That is a crime. I know.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
I know, man. It's rough. I haven't I've tried to watch the Harry Potter movies, and they're just not for me.
And you haven't seen Lord of the Rings either.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
I'm just gonna call out everything. I'm gonna call out everything. Have you seen the 2009 Star Trek?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen all those. I'm caught up on all those.
You're safe there.
I'm safe there. Hey, the people know I only watched Star Wars for the first time like 4 years ago. So
Well, now you can call it out yourself.
Yeah.
You can just roast yourself.
Bat Dog coming this summer. That would sell more than I think Justice League did.
I don't know if you heard, but one of the awesome... All right. Here's something we need to talk about that we didn't plan before the episode. The Trench.
Oh, I didn't think about that. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
So, for those who don't know, it's never going to come out. First of all, I'm going to put this out there right now. It's not coming out. DC has like 25 movies that they say they're going to make, and none of them are going to happen. Maybe 5.
Yeah. Well, you'll probably get Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey is definitely going to happen.
The Batman, maybe.
Yes, the Batman's going to happen.
Flash, maybe.
Maybe. Cyborg, maybe.
Cyborg, maybe.
Green Lantern, maybe.
Green Lantern, maybe.
But their newest brilliant idea for a movie to get the fans so excited, made for the fans, is the Aquaman spin-off, The Trench, which is going to be a horror movie directed by James Wan, who directed Aquaman, because he's a horror director, based off of, I think, the creatures of the Mariana Trench, which is like the deepest trench in the ocean, but it's where the final fight in Aquaman took place. And there will be no Aquaman characters.
So it's just a trench.
An Aquaman spin-off horror film, which I totally see why that's their first priority, because it's DC, and they made Suicide Squad their third movie.
DC, though, I mean, Aquaman did make the most money out of any DC movie.
It did.
So.
But that's because of Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
And that's because of the film market overseas, and I just cannot see, even less than Jared Leto's Morbius movie, which is just like a huge, like, really, like, that movie makes me go, really, more than like any other comic book film. Now The Trench has kind of surpassed that for me, and I really can't imagine anyone that I know buying a ticket to go and see it.
No, I mean,
no matter how good it is.
I probably would go see it just
for meme value.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Plus, we do movie reviews of nerd stuff here, so I kind of have to go see it. But
right, I know everyone's going to be so hyped for The Trench, and all the DCEU stands out there.
What would that be like? Like, what would that be like for Marvel to do?
No, okay, so this is funny. I made a tweet about this actually. This would be like, so I'm going to compare Aquaman to Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best comparison you can make, because they're both kind of joke characters, and they both ride off of the charisma of their main actor. And they also both take place in kind of a world separate from what's happening right now. And you can make Aquaman comparisons with Thor or with Black Panther or whatever. Whatever. I think Ant-Man is the closest comparison. Yeah. Even though Aquaman did way better than Ant-Man at the box office for some reason. I would compare this to like an adventure in like the Quantum Realm. But it's not even as interesting.
But not even with like Scott. Like it would be with like.
Right. No, it would be just random characters.
Yeah. That would not.
Or the train set where they had the final battle. It would be it'd be a movie about Cassie's train set.
That would be more interesting than The Trench, I'm pretty sure.
Right, because The Trench, it's not like Wakanda, where it's like a fully fleshed out world. It's just the place where the final fight took place.
Now, it did have a cool moment in the movie. Like, that was one of the coolest moments of the movie, was that shot of Aquaman diving down, and then you have all the trench, whatever they are, coming at them. But, like, you don't have to do a spinoff. Like, have you not learned anything from Star Wars? Like, spinoffs do not work.
Yes, exactly. No, I made another tweet, which is funny, where it was like people saying that Solo felt like a really unessential spinoff, and like that's not what Star Wars needs right now. It's not the direction they should be heading. And DC says, "Here, hold my salt water."
Yeah, hold my salt water.
while I come up with an even more unessential spinoff, which is not the direction DC should be going right now. And so the opening graphic for all of their movies is like this. It's like this big photo with all of these different DC characters there, and like Green Lantern's in there. I think Hawkman's in there.
Yeah,
like so many iconic DC characters. But instead of announcing any of those movies, you're gonna announce
everything based off of Harley Quinn, and then The Trench.
Right, because Aquaman is so successful.
Right.
I guarantee you that if Aquaman had grossed less than even BVS, then The Trench wouldn't even be talked about. But the fact that it was such a huge international hit is, that's why they're making a spinoff of that.
Yeah.
Which is like if Ant-Man had grossed more than any of the movies before it, and then they were like, let's make an Ant-Man spin-off.
Right.
Which I don't know in what universe, well, the DC universe, obviously, but I don't know in what, like, parallel universe that would, Marvel's mismanagement would go that far.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I do agree that DC should really just go the X-Men route and just pick what is canon and what's not. Like, just go throughout what you've done. You know how many times the X-Men timeline has been just screwed up and just, oh no, that never happened.
Right.
Like at this point, it doesn't even bother us anymore. We're just like, okay, we don't know what's going on.
This film takes place in the 80s? All right.
Well, cool. Like, even like Apocalypse, they were like calling back to stuff. And I was like, which one are we talking about? You can't call back on this because, like, you've screwed up the timeline so much.
Yes.
But, like, here, I think they're early enough because we've only had, 4 movies? 5?
DC movies? 6.
6.
Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman.
Okay.
No, but they're going to end up splitting things. I mean, they already have difference in continuity between the films and the shows.
Right.
And then they have shows that are in different continuities from other shows, and they have 3 different show continuities going right now. Plus their film continuity, which is about to be split by Joker.
Yeah.
With Joaquin Phoenix, and then the Batman might take place in the Joker universe, or it might be its own thing.
You're right.
So I agree that I don't think DC should go for overall narrative connectivity like Marvel, where everything happens in the MCU for the most part.
Yeah.
And now Fox properties are getting absorbed to happen in the MCU.
Right.
And it's a really cool and wonderful thing. But the continuity that DC has already set up is just lame, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So the more things that they do outside of that continuity, outside of that universe, like the Snyder universe, the better.
Yeah.
And Aquaman kind of felt like its own thing.
Yeah.
And it was breaking free of that somewhat. It still had kind of the trappings that come along with it.
It did, but and I've said this several times, it realized what it is and ran with it. Mm-hmm. And that's what made it work. Which movies out of the 6, we'll go ahead and do this, which movie out of the 6 would you pick to keep as canon and not? I wouldn't keep Justice League. Justice League never happened. Batman vs. Superman never happened. I would probably keep Man of Steel. I would keep Aquaman. I would pull Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad and just have her.
Really? Yes. Harley Quinn. I would keep Harley Quinn. I would probably keep Aquaman. Wonder Woman, I'm on the fence about. Wonder Woman 84 has to convince me about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Redo The Flash, redo Batman, Superman, Cyborg.
Yeah,
forgot he exists.
Don't even do Cyborg.
Redo Lex Luthor. Redo every villain that you've done so far.
No, I want to keep Jesse Eisenberg around.
Except for Black Manta, because he was pretty funny.
He was pretty funny. I will, and leave Deathstroke around because we didn't really get to see him all that much. So you could still, because when I saw him pop up, I actually got a little excited because he's one of my favorite DC villains.
Right. Yes.
But they probably just mess him up.
Joe Manganiello is a good casting for that. I just would have to see it work.
Right. And that's the problem. We haven't seen many of these characters work out on screen. We've just heard about them.
Right.
We haven't seen, we don't know what they have planned for Green Lantern. We don't know what they have planned for really anything. I do agree if Joaquin Phoenix is a good Joker movie, you could just place him in there. He was supposed to be in there all along. I think you could make that work. But I do think we need to stay away from the Joker for a while as a Batman villain.
Totally. I think Batman has such a rich
you've got
of villains.
Bane. You could use Bane. You could use...
You could. My boy, Mr. Freeze.
Use Mr. Freeze.
Do Mr.
Make
Freeze
him cool.
again. Yes.
Make him like the Oh, have you seen The Flash?
No.
Okay, not the show. Mr. Cold or whatever they call him. You can make him
Captain
Cold. Thank you. You can make it to where it makes sense and not like what Arnold Schwarzenegger was, because that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. That's the one issue is some of these villains you have to make them fit into the universe that you've built.
Yes.
And so Penguin, I think, would be a harder one to do of staying close to the comics. Now you could make him this gangster style.
Right.
Character that would work really well, kind of like what Gotham did.
Like Arkham City.
Yeah, and I think that would work really well. Mr. Freeze was already cool in Batman and Robin.
You know that's wrong.
No,
I am a Mr. Freeze stan. and you know.
No, he's not wrong. He was already cool.
Stay away from the ice puns. That's my biggest Mr. Freeze recommendation. Stay away from all the cold puns.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
The Ice Age.
Okay, that was awesome. I think you could redo almost any Tim Burton villain except for the Joker. You could redo Riddler.
Yeah.
Not Two-Face. You could redo Riddler. You could redo Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze. Well, those weren't Tim Burton, but you know what I mean. Like in that continuity, you could redo Penguin because that was kind of like a very Tim Burton-y take on the Penguin.
But it was cool.
It was cool, and it was very, very good. But you could do kind of the more Arkham City style Penguin.
And like, you don't even have to use some of these smaller villains and just have them come together. You don't have to have one main villain. You know what I mean? Like, you could have all of these villains, these smaller villains, come together, work together, and just have them all in this one movie. And I think that would work.
Like Spider-Man: Homecoming. Spider-Man: Homecoming had Vulture,
Scorpion,
Shocker. It set up Scorpion. It had Tinkerer. It set up Prowler. They're not going to do Prowler probably. But by the time we get to the third MCU Spider-Man movie, there's going to be a ton of villains.
You'll probably have Doc Ock. You'll probably have...
Definitely have Mysterio.
Yeah, you'll have basically everybody in the Sinister Six.
Might have Chameleon.
Including, you'll probably even have Osborn. Like, you probably even have Osborn. Clayface would be cool, too.
We have two great suggestions. Condiment King. I love it. That's a great suggestion. That would be wonderful, especially if it's like...
Condiment King should have been for Ben Affleck's Batman. They would have gone well together.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Sad Affleck and Condiment King is already...
Who would play Condiment King, though?
Jonah Hill.
You nailed it. It took about 5 seconds. That was amazing.
Either Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen. One of the two.
We got Condiment King, Polka Dot Man, another great suggestion.
That would be great.
And Clayface is a legitimately good suggestion.
Yeah.
He's never been done before.
I like Clayface. I think Clayface would be... He was always one of my favorite... Do you ever... Okay, so Cartoon Network used to have the old Teen Titans show, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever play like the Cartoon Network games on their website?
I have very vague memories.
Okay, they had the Teen Titans game where you could be Clayface and like destroy everything, and I used to play that game for hours just as Clayface. So
awesome.
I would love to have Clayface. I think that would be great. I do agree though that the CGI would be very difficult for Clayface, and the track record of
DC
CGI is not good at all. It was better in Aquaman.
There were good shots in
Right,
Aquaman.
But there was also a lot of really bad shots in Aquaman.
Right, whenever there are people in the shot in Aquaman, it's terrible. And I don't trust them to do Clayface well. But for the shape-shifting aspect, like we have in the comments here, for the shape-shifting aspect, and if it's Batman being a detective trying to figure out who's like impersonating all these
that
people,
that would be great.
That would be really, really
That would
cool.
be great.
When he turns into a giant monster, it probably won't look very good, but
Hey, the first 2 hours of the movie will be great, and then the last half hour we'll just have to get over it.
And something I've heard is that Matt Reeves, when he does his take on Batman, he really wants to use his detective abilities, which makes me super excited.
Right, because that's what Batman is. Like he's the world's greatest detective for a reason, you know.
And Christian Bale's Batman was fantastic, but
except for the bullet scene.
Yeah, well, even the detective work in The Dark Knight was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Which I love Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
But no Batman has really dove into the detective aspect.
No.
Like I've wanted them to.
Right.
And I feel like Clayface is such a huge opportunity there.
You're right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck did no detective.
No, he didn't do any, and of course Clooney didn't, because that's just that movie didn't even need for it to happen. And then you had Christian Bale did a pretty decent job. And then who was the other one? Why am I blanking on his
Michael
name?
Keaton?
Yeah, thank you. Michael Keaton was just... I don't know what he was. He was like a mix of different things. Like, he was good, but it was still a little weird. But we got way off topic, but that's totally fine. Robert Pattinson, I don't know if he could do the detective thing. That's another thing. If they went that direction, could he be...
Oh, I could see that.
I could see him being a detective.
I see him being a detective more than a fighter.
Yeah, and that's, I think, when it comes down to being a fighter, can he actually play the part well?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like he could be the detective all day long, but when it comes to the fighting aspect, could it work and make it look good?
Right. And of course, this is all just rumors.
Right.
And hearsay.
This will probably all change in like a month.
Right. We hear stuff about comic book movies way in advance. So
right. Yeah.
We'll just have to see when it comes.
I mean,
I don't think he's going to end up being Batman, but it is an interesting. It kind of makes you think.
Yeah.
It's an interesting suggestion.
Yeah. So yeah, that's dealing with that. Moving on to the next topic. Hulu could be reviving I think they just said Daredevil and Luke Cage, maybe even Iron Fist. I think I saw that.
Right.
Because they didn't mention Punisher or Jessica Jones yet.
Well, because those haven't been canceled yet, and they probably don't want to say anything as a company.
They're canceled.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. But are you on board with them reviving the same cast? Are you on board with it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? You know, that type of thing.
This is my absolute Hulu best case scenario. All right. I like the photo you put up, by the way. That's very cool.
Thank you. I found it online. Google is a great research tool.
Yeah. Our absolutely best case scenario for the Defenders on Hulu is they can't use the Defenders characters until up to 2 years after they're canceled.
Right.
And that's the stipulation with Netflix. Best thing that happens is Disney holds a majority share in Hulu right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they buy back the episodes from Netflix, and basically all of the stuff that's already on Netflix for those shows moves over to Hulu.
Okay.
Which I think can be done. I haven't heard that shot down yet. Because it would be weird to have, like, seasons before on a different streaming service.
Right, and not be able to go back and watch it. Right.
Right. So, start that on Hulu. Make Defenders Season 2. And make it awesome. Unlike the first one. The first one was not awesome. It was not good. And then what you do, you have to tighten up the seasons to like 8 episodes or something.
Yeah.
You have to bring back the cast, bring back the showrunners, which would be very difficult. Mm-hmm. But if they wanted to, this would be such a win for them.
Yeah.
I think it would totally work out for them, like a Daredevil revival. Because people are really upset about it, especially
Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil was one of the ones that really made Marvel Netflix like really cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like people loved I remember season 1 of Daredevil was amazing. And it had like it really started to bring me in when the two scenes I remember the most. Obviously the one take fight in the hallway, but then Kingpin literally decapitating the dude at the car door was one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. And from that point on I was like, okay, this is going to be really cool. And then Jessica Jones came out, and I was like, this is probably going to be stupid, like, whatever. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Same thing with Luke Cage. Same thing with Punisher. Not Iron Fist. You know, but, like, I think if you want to bring these characters to Hulu, like, I think it's a great opportunity for Marvel to make money, to shed more light on Hulu. Because Runaways, I've started watching Runaways. Runaways is actually a pretty decent show. And so, like, I think it would work really well to be on Hulu. I think they could make it work as long as it stays the same. Like, what I mean by stay the same way, like the same feeling it had. Like, you know how like Netflix originals have like a darker, grittier feeling to them. You know, I think if they move to Hulu, they need to stay the same way. They can't really change their feeling for it.
And now Runaways, and what am I thinking of? Runaways is on Hulu. Cloak and Dagger and Agent Carter are both on Hulu as well, which Agent Carter obviously still doesn't come on.
Right. It's still a good show, though.
If in 2 years Runaways and Cloak and Dagger are still on, integrate that with the Defenders.
Yes.
Would that not be amazing?
That would be great.
Have kind of like this satellite TV universe, and then have your Disney Plus stuff, and then still have the movie continuity.
Right. Yeah.
Going. That would be incredible.
That would be like. That's the one thing that the CW shows that DC do really well. Their crossover events are some of the greatest. Like, they're some of the coolest things. While the shows themselves are hit and miss, the crossover events are really cool. And like I don't feel like not on screen, because Infinity War is a great crossover, but like Netflix wise, like non-movie wise, Defenders was not good.
Yeah.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist were not great together in Iron Fist season 1. Like, that was the best part of the show, but it still wasn't good. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like, I think that's a problem that Marvel is having. And so, if they can get that crossover to work, I think that would be huge, because it would get more eyes on Runaways. It would get more eyes on Cloak and Dagger.
Right.
Which is what you want to do, is you want to get more eyes on the product that you're making.
And now I would say you would have to revive Daredevil and keep Eric Olson as the director for
Yes.
that. You'd have to revive Jessica Jones, revive Punisher, do Heroes for Hire. Make
Yes.
that show, recast Iron Fist. Please, God,
Recast Iron Fist.
Because, God bless Mike Coulter, him and Finn Jones have zero chemistry.
They do. They
And
do.
that's what I love about Heroes for Hire, and that's why they're one of my favorite teams in comics, is they're just like these 70s caricatures who have like the best chemistry.
Right.
They work together so well.
Right.
And it's awesome. And Mike Coulter and Finn Jones have absolutely none of that in
No,
any
they
of the
don't.
scenes they have together. So please recast Iron Fist. I beg you. For Hulu, and that would be a great move, and I think fans would really enjoy that.
Yeah.
As a fan.
Yeah, I would. I know I would enjoy it. Because like I agree. I just want Daredevil was probably the greatest out of all of them, and I think I don't think it's even really. I don't even think it's really close.
Not really.
And so like I just want to see Daredevil back on screen some way somehow, whether it's a movie, whether it's a Hulu original, like whatever it is. And I want to see him in the same continuity that he was on Netflix. Because like that type of what makes like the Netflix, what makes the Marvel movies itself and like its properties is like it's this global higher up, like they're superheroes and like they feel like superheroes because they should be. But like the Netflix original, they're like street grounded heroes that are awesome.
Right.
Like they are awesome, and so. That's the one thing I love about Daredevil is like the way they shot that show, the way they produced it. Every episode was so great, and like I think if you can capture it again and put it on Hulu, I think then it'll work even better.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so yeah, that's apparently Kevin Smith is making a Howard the Duck show on Hulu.
Let's touch on that. This is something else that
Is it on the Disney Plus?
No, it's on Hulu.
The Offenders.
Yes. So
Okay.
what they're doing right now, this isn't MCU canon, but there are 4 animated shows coming out on Hulu from the Marvel universe. There's going to be a show about Howard the Duck, Tigra and Dazzler, MODOK, and Hitmonkey.
Okay.
And all 4 of these shows are going to team up Avengers style to become the Offenders.
Yeah.
On Hulu, they're all animated shows. They're all produced by Kevin Smith is doing the Howard the Duck show, but there are all these different like producers doing the other shows.
Right.
And apparently there's a mystery character in there too, which people are speculating could be that canceled Deadpool show, that canceled Deadpool animated show.
Oh yeah.
Which he would fit totally perfectly.
Yeah.
In that would make perfect sense. So it would be The Offenders, and that sounds
That's a
super
great
cool.
name. That is a great name.
And then if you have that running on Hulu too, I mean, you could really make Hulu kind of the satellite
Yeah.
for the Disney MCU continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that would be money for
And
them.
fold the Defenders back in, and you're
Good to go.
Perfect.
You're good to go. So yeah, I think we're both on board with all that. So here comes the fun part.
Yeah.
Of today's episode. This is where you're going to see the mean side. If you thought my rant about Bill Maher was bad on the New World Nation podcast when we broke down Iron Man 3, go check that out on New World Nerds. Plug. I'll charge you $10 later, Nico, for that. This is going to be... Because I don't understand this. Like, nothing about this makes sense. All the hate that Captain Marvel is getting, like all the hate that this movie is already getting before we even start, like before we even have the premiere, before anything, is absolutely ridiculous. It's unwarranted. Like there's no need for it, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
You have all these morons with Twitter accounts who thinks that they are movie reviewers or that they're the best comic book whatever,
And that their opinion
is valid, and like it's like point in case.
And I say that as a part of a podcast. Our opinion does not have any bearing on anything that happens in the real world.
No.
We're just here for the discussion of it.
Right.
And what we're seeing with the Captain Marvel just hate parade is just people who are throwing their opinions out there, and it's just like, well, she panders to the SJWs, she panders to the feminist agenda.
Every actor and actress does.
With no real substance to that argument. That's the only thing that you can say. It's just the same talking points that you see brought up.
And like none of them are valid. Like none of them. Like who cares if she's smiling or not? Like who cares about that? Like in all honesty, who in the world cares about that? If she's smiling, then great. If she doesn't want to smile because she's had, you don't know what her past life is like. We don't know anything about the plot of the movie.
Right.
We know bits and pieces, but we don't know all of it together. Like you can't make these assumptions. And I think was it Jeremy Conrad that said this, or somebody else that you told me said like, and they're totally right about how if you are hating on this movie still at this point, then you've wanted it to fail from the beginning.
Yeah.
Was it Jeremy Conrad who said that, or
no,
was
it was another guy on Twitter?
Right.
But I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a good movie. If you're not interested in it, then okay.
Don't go watch it.
We're not talking to like the people who are watching. I don't think the people who are watching would necessarily have that viewpoint unless they do.
Then you're an idiot.
We're more just kind of commenting on how disappointing this is and
how
much it sucks.
The one thing I've always been able to look at with the MCU fans is like they are very optimistic for the most part, and like the things that they aren't optimistic on are very valid. For them, like the one like Star Wars fans are some of the most obnoxious, pessimistic fans out there.
Right.
Like they're down on everything. I saw a video where it was like it asked a Star Wars fan, like they asked the guy who was wearing a Star Wars hat, "Are you a Star Wars fan?" He says, "No, I hate him." And he says, "Oh, okay, you're wearing the Star Wars hat." And he said, "No, I hate it because I love it." And it's like I hate the George Lucas movies. Disney ruined it, but then I hated it when George Lucas was still there. Like you can't make a Star Wars fan happy at all.
Right.
And it's starting to feel the same way with MCU fans. Like we have this new character who we've only seen 30 seconds of in an end credit scene of Infinity War. That's all we know about her. And you're so worried about it. And you're so, this is going to be the worst movie ever. This movie's going to suck so bad. There's no point in even watching it. Can we just get to Endgame already? Blah, 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 blah. Like, no. They're setting her up for a reason.
Right.
And, like, it's the same thing, but it's different with, like, Ant-Man. Ant-Man was, like, an odd character who people thought would never work, whatever. And then it came out and people loved it. Like, this movie is completely different than that because Captain Marvel is going to play such a huge role in the future of the MCU.
Right.
Like a mass, like they're going to set her up to be one of the leaders of the Avengers, leading on from here.
Yes.
And so, like, going into it already hating it, going into it with this low bar of like this movie's going to suck because she's not smiling and like she's not very energetic, blah 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 blah. Like, obviously, you haven't seen the same trailers I've seen.
Yeah. No, and I don't think that it's been their top game of marketing.
No.
But people just want to absolutely nitpick the dumbest things. And to be honest, I mean, if you're going into this film determined to hate it, then the future of the MCU isn't really for you.
No.
And that's what I will say. I will say just hop off the bus at Endgame.
Yep. Because
just kind of disengage. Because the direction that they're heading... I wouldn't say it's more politically correct, but I'd say it's more inclusive to how the world actually is and actually functions.
Right.
And I don't think it's been like a bubble of just white men so far.
No, I'm
not really off-put by that.
It's just the characters that they've set up. Like
the characters that they're setting
the
up.
The characters that everybody knows.
Right,
you know.
Are going to come from different backgrounds.
Right.
And it will hopefully be just as awesome as it's been
right, because you're going to get... Obviously, Black Panther is going to be a lead character from now on out, for sure. Captain Marvel is going to be a lead character from now on. There are talks of doing a what's the name of it? Shang-Chi? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
They're doing that movie, or there are talks of doing that movie. You're getting Black Widow, who has been a key part of the MCU for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, all the hate for this movie makes no sense.
Right. No, I think it's just people kind of projecting their agenda onto a character,
right,
projecting their worldview onto this character who they've seen 2.5 minutes of footage of.
Yeah,
and they've just heard people talk. And a big part of it is that Brie Larson kind of holds certain opinions about the film industry The thing that people don't realize is that most of their favorite actors have the exact same opinion.
Have you ever seen Chris Evans on Twitter?
Exactly.
Like, he is the same way. And, like, if you have a problem with that, don't follow him on Twitter. Like,
right. No, I mean, if you're going to disengage yourself from something that you enjoy because the people who are involved in that have a different opinion than you, then
you're not going to enjoy anything in
you
life.
might as well just live in a cardboard box.
Right. Right. And it's pointless. And so I really, 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 we've talked about this. We both think it's going to make $1 billion.
I think 800 million is going to happen, and the billion is doable.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Right.
And I like, even if, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, even if this movie tanks, I'm still going to love every second of it.
Yeah, no, I'm going into it hoping that it'll be good. You know, maybe it's not going to be good.
Right, but you can't know that unless you go see the movie.
I went into Black Panther with higher expectations than the movie actually was. And it wasn't necessarily a letdown. It was just something where I was like, well, I was expecting that to be better than it was. I'm still very, very excited about the inclusivity aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like the reason that it exists.
Right.
I'm very happy about that, and the statement that it makes. I think it does a really, really good job at that, even though technically as a film, it quite doesn't hit for me. And I'm hoping that Captain Marvel kind of succeeds both as a statement and as a movie in that way, and I'm hoping I like it a little bit better than Black Panther. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think we've both said this. I truly think that this will probably be one of the better origin movies.
Right.
For sure. I honestly think this might be one of the best MCU movies.
I think it totally could.
I think it could easily, done properly, could be in like the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big deal. I'm already going into this movie with high expectations, but I expect to meet every single one of them. And guess what? If they don't meet every single one of them, I'm still going to enjoy the movie because it's setting up what's going to happen in Endgame as well. Plus, like the future of the MCU, because you're setting up the Skrulls, you're setting up Monica, like you're setting up all of these different characters just instead of just Carol. Which, like, if you don't go see it, or if you hate it, or if you don't pay attention to it, or whatever, like, it's going to affect the rest of how you watch the MCU.
Also, because that's what being a fan is.
Yeah.
Being a fan is being excited for the things that are coming. Unless you have some valid reason to not be excited for it.
Right.
Which I don't think that projecting your, political feelings onto this movie because this actress, is an activist in a certain area is valid.
Right.
I don't think that's valid.
I don't either. I really think that you should be able to... You're going to see a movie it's not about Brie Larson. It's about Carol Danvers. And, like, you should go into these movies not caring about what Brie Larson thinks, but going in about what this movie is really about,
Right. Which is so apparently easy to do for every other character so far.
Right. But when Carol Danvers, I'm so upset now I can't even speak. When Carol Danvers shows up, like, oh, it's a big deal. I'm going to hate this movie because Brie Larson's in it, blah, 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 blah. Like, I absolutely adore Brie Larson. I think she's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily always agree with her politically, and guess what? That's totally fine because I can still enjoy these movies.
Right.
I can still enjoy her as an actress. So, like, all the hate that this movie has, and, like, I really don't want MCU fans to turn into Star Wars fans, or even, like, pro wrestling fans are some of the most toxic human beings you'll ever meet in your life. Oh, like, I'm not even joking. They are some of the most temperamental. If Nico's still in the chat, he can attest to it, that they are some of the most temperamental, worthless pieces of crap out there, and I can be one of them sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, I don't want the MCU. That's the one thing I've always enjoyed is, like, most of the time, MCU fans can be congenial with each other. Of, like, hey, you have this opinion that, like, this movie was great and I didn't really like it that much. Guess what? That's totally fine.
Right.
And at this point, with with Captain Marvel, it seems like we're not able to do that. And, like, the biggest thing I have, the thing that is maybe the maddest, is the newest TV spot that we got. Was it this week? Or last week?
I think it was this week.
Where you have the shot of a Skrull yelling at Captain Marvel, and then she yells back and just absolutely obliterates him.
Right.
Like, and people are like, that's the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Like, You didn't say that when Thor did it. Like when Thor did it, you were like, "Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool."
Yeah,
like,
right.
No, like I thought it was amazing. Like I thought it was really cool. Like I was all for it. I really dug it.
And I think that her personality really comes through. I think that that's what Carol Danvers' personality is.
Yeah.
The final note that I kind of want to hit is that if you're disengaged from the movie and if you're not looking forward to it, whatever.
Right.
You know what? I don't care. I don't think that every movie is marketed for every person.
Right.
There are movies that have come out in the past that I've not really been excited for, that I've been blown away by, or that I've been disappointed by. It doesn't matter. You know, going into the movie, it doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Right.
But if you're going to be hateful all across the internet for no reason, sorry, but your opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't have any effect on what the film is going to be like,
right.
or really anything. And it just kind of sucks that people feel like they need to project kind of just their worldview
right.
into something that others are excited for. If you're an MCU fan and you're trying to tank others' excitement for a movie, which my excitement isn't really affected, I'm just kind of disengaged from all the hate that's going on. But
right.
I just think it's lame. I think that people are being really lame.
It's pointless. Like at this point, it is extremely pointless. And I totally get, like, if the first trailer didn't do it for you, that's fine. Like, that's totally fine. But all of these other trailers and TV spots that we've seen have been really, really, really cool. Like the one of her flying around, blowing up ships, things like that. Like, that looks awesome. Like, that looks really cool. And so, like, if you aren't on board with it at this point, then I guess don't even bother to watch it or whatever. Just try to have an open
mind. Look up the spoilers on Reddit.
Right. Like, just look it up afterwards and then regret not seeing it because you hear how great it is. But I had another point I was going to say. Oh, like, going back with what you were saying with opinions, like, we're on a podcast right now talking about our opinions, right? But most of the time, if not all the time, we always come in with our opinions with fact behind them. Like, we always have a reason or a fact to go off of what our opinion is.
Also because this is a podcast where we're talking and not Twitter, where you have a character limit. So your opinion is kind of confined to, man, this sucks, or something like that.
Right. Here we're able to elaborate on why something sucks or why we love something.
Right, which is why our opinion is infinitely more valuable than any other opinion on the internet. But go ahead.
Right. I second that motion. But, like, if you're not going to have any point of just, like, saying, oh, well, I don't agree with what she agrees with, so I'm going to hate this movie. Like, that's dumb. That has nothing to do with the movie. That has everything to do with your difference of opinions. Like, you have to go into this movie basically with no expectations at all and just say, I'm going to go see this movie for what it is. And, like, I don't think people are really doing that. I don't really think people are up for it, but hey, that's their own loss. I'll go watch it at least 6 or 7 times in theaters and enjoy every second of it, you know, because it'll be fun. That's actually one of my, like, most anticipated episodes is reviewing that movie and talking about it.
Me too.
And so, like, when Gump's in the chat, I was wondering where you were. But, like, I'm very excited to talk about that movie, not just because, okay, it's a stepping stone to get to Endgame. Like, at this point, I think and, like, excitement for different reasons. But, like, I'm excited. Like, I think at this point, I'm more excited to see Captain Marvel than I am Endgame, because I know you have to see this movie to understand what's going to happen in this movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like, I am extremely excited to see Captain Marvel. And if you aren't excited about it, or if you don't like it or whatever, then fine. Just don't be a douche about it.
Exactly.
You know, you can have an opinion, just don't be dumb with it.
Right. And
don't be in your face. And then when somebody disagrees, you just say, "Oh no, that's fine." Like, "Oh no, you're just an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about." Or I'm a smart movie critic. Blah 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 blah.
She panders to the SJW feminists.
Who cares? Guess what? It's a woman about a movie with powers.
Look at that.
It's going to do that, you know.
And something I'm really excited about with this movie is that she is going to be immensely powerful.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like Thor level strength right off the bat. And I saw a comment from the Russo brothers saying, you know, that they figured out a creative way to kind of work her power level into Endgame. Mm-hmm. Which is really exciting for me, because when the Russo brothers, you know, when they sit down and analyze all the different characters and kind of fold them into the part of the story, it's really cool and it turns out really good. So her role in Endgame, I think, is going to be super sick.
Yeah.
And if she gets a one-on-one with Thanos, like Doctor
Oh, it's
Strange
gonna be great.
and Tony Stark.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be like out of my seat for it. Like I'm gonna love it.
Oh man.
You know, and like I get it. Some of the dialogue in the trailer hasn't been the best. Like one of the first trailer that came out, or the second one.
Noble Warrior Heroes.
Yeah, that one kind of was annoying. But guess what? There are a lot of dialogue in most of the MCU movies that I'm not a huge fan of. Like there are some lines that I'm like, that didn't really stick. Like that's really dumb. But like I am totally on board with Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. Like I think, and like we both said it just a few minutes ago. We think that this could be one of the best origin movies in the MCU, and it could easily be one of the best MCU movies as of right now, which I'm totally on board with. And if you have an issue with because I've seen a few people say, well, they're going too spacey for me, or they're doing too cosmic for me.
Oh, that's weird.
That's dumb. Then when they do the Eternals movie, you're really gonna hate it.
I saw an awesome take on Twitter that was like, Captain Marvel is too stupid of a superhero name to be around in the 2010s. And I'm like, have you been paying attention to, like,
there's
Drax the Destroyer.
Captain America.
That's Captain America.
Rocket the Raccoon. Like,
yeah, so I think that people are just, A, repeating the same talking points, just based out of this,
with no fact,
whatever opinion that they have.
Right.
Or B, coming up with their own talking points that are just mind-numbingly
dumb.
Stupid.
Yeah. So, if you can't tell, I think we both are very excited for it. I think we're both very pumped to see Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and it's coming up. Right now it's February 12th, so it's
we're like what, 19 days out? 20 days out?
Yeah, like 3 weeks or so.
Something like that, which I've already bought my tickets for premiere night. I'm going to the 9 o'clock showing. Are you doing the 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't tell me what happens because I'm going to the 9.
All the spoilers.
Oh, man, I will block you so quick.
That's what am I trying to say? That same week, me and my brother are going to be doing a hardcore MCU marathon, which is going to be 1 night and 2 days.
Ooh.
Iron Man to Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we're going to go all in MCU marathon, and then a couple days after that is going to be Captain Marvel for us. So I'm very excited.
Ooh. Okay, I might do that because the week after, I have 2 weeks for spring break.
Oh, wow.
And so the week after, I may, like, I'll probably I'll see Captain Marvel premiere night, but then I'll go back and watch all the way through everything and then do that. And then we can, so we'll do that. We're going to go ahead and plan this. The episode, the Tuesday after it releases, obviously it's just going to be a straight up Captain Marvel review. Mm-hmm. The week after that, then we'll do our big MCU thing leading into Endgame. Right.
Because I don't think we do enough MCU content. No, I'm just
I really, like, we talk a lot about DC as well.
We do. No, and I love talking about MCU. Obviously, it's the thing that I am the most invested in in the geek world, and I think it's kind of really the front runner in the entire geek community right now.
Yeah.
Or really in pop culture in general, it's like the biggest thing or one of the biggest things happening. So I think it warrants a lot of our attention, especially right now since it's kind of hype season going into 2019.
Oh yeah.
So that's what we'll be talking about a whole lot.
This could easily be the best year for MCU movies.
There's something we can touch on before we finish, is what, in your opinion, has been the best year for MCU movies so far. And we'd also like to hear in the chat.
I have to look them up.
I can help you out. So for anybody who doesn't know, the years in MCU movies are as follows. 2008 was Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. 2010 was Iron Man 2. 2011 was Thor and Captain America: The First Avenger. 2012 was Avengers. 2013 was Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World. Obviously the best year. 2014 was Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. 2015 was Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. 2016 was Civil War and Doctor Strange. 2017 was Guardians Volume 2, Spider-Man, and Thor Ragnarok. 2018 was Black Panther, Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then 2019
Captain Marvel, Endgame, and
Far From Home.
Far From Home. It might be... That's tough. Civil War and Doctor Strange is a good one.
It is.
And then you said Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was 2014.
That's a good one. And then 2017 was...
Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Guardians Volume 2.
That's a good year.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's down to those 3 years.
I agree with that. The reason I would say 2014 is because all of Phase 3 was announced in 2014.
Yeah, so you had the hype for it.
As well as having Winter Soldier and Guardians, which was the introduction to Russo brothers and James Gunn.
Right.
And 2 of the best films in the whole MCU. So I would say 2014. I think 2017 is a very close second for me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. My love for Civil War is so ridiculous that, like, you could put Civil War and Thor the Dark World back to back, and, like, I would still say that's one of the best years for the MCU.
Understandable.
But Winter Soldier's up there as well, and so is Guardian. So I would probably say 2014 would probably be the best.
Mm-hmm.
It would honestly probably go 2014, 2017, and then probably 2016.
Yeah, that's my order as well. 2018 is interesting because we have Infinity War, which is like huge, and also the success of Black Panther is super important.
Yeah,
but you also got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is
that's what takes it down for me.
Unessential.
Yeah,
definitely. I'd still rank 2018 about midway, but I'm hoping 2019. I mean,
2019 should be top notch the way it's going.
I think both Captain Marvel and Far From Home have potential to pass $1 billion.
Yeah,
and I think Endgame is $2 million in the bag.
Yeah,
I mean $2 billion. Sorry.
Yeah,
$2 million. Yeah,
it's definitely $2 million in the bag.
And if all 3 of those movies kind of knock it out of the park, origin story, sequel, and the conclusion to like the Avengers saga.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will be the best year.
Yeah, and it'll be tough to beat too.
Yeah.
Man, this year is a good year for the MCU. Because we've already talked about Captain Marvel and how we think it's going to be probably. Do you think it'll probably be the best origin movie?
I don't know about that because of Iron Man and Spider-Man, but if it's above all of the other ones, then I wouldn't be surprised.
I forget that Iron Man's technically an origin movie too because it's just so good.
I wouldn't count Guardians as an origin movie.
I wouldn't either.
But if we are counting that, then that's...
No, because that's more of a... I count more of an origin of like how they got to what they got.
A solo origin.
Yeah.
Iron Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think Captain Marvel will be right up there with him.
I hope so.
And then Endgame's just going to be...
Endgame is at least going to be as good as Infinity War.
If not better.
Yeah.
And the payoff's just going to be great, and then the setup is going to be even better.
And Far From Home has Mysterio, so it's automatically amazing.
And, like, what I've seen, like, the first trailer, I am extremely hyped for Mysterio. Like, I am so excited for him. Because it looks... And I love that they've got the fishbowl head and everything. Like, it looks, on paper, it should be so comic booky. And it is. But it is in a great way. And, like, it looks so great.
He's my hero. I'm already a Vulture stan. The Vulture is, like, top 5.
So, like, this would be like Mysterio then Vulture for you.
They're going to... Mysterio, Vulture, and Loki are going to be like top 10 MCU characters for me, like all 3 of them.
Who would you put? I'm throwing you on the spot. Who would you put as your top 10 MCU characters? You already have a list, don't you?
One moment. Of course I have a list. I am the list man. Okay, this is my top 10, excluding the OG 4. So that's excluding Tony Stark, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes TV characters.
Okay.
So this is my top 10. Not in order.
Okay.
Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Rocket Raccoon. Vulture. Loki. Spider-Man. Daredevil. Punisher. Ant-Man, my boy. Valkyrie, and Thanos.
Oh, man. See, mine would be, not in any order, just kind of... Thanos would definitely be in mine.
I'll be surprised if you can do this on the spot.
Okay, ready? Thanos.
It took me about 15 minutes.
Thanos. Loki. Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones. I would probably put Winter Soldier, Cap.
Well, minus the OG4.
Oh, minus the OG4?
Right.
So Winter Soldier. This is tough.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Rocket, Groot.
Yeah.
Okoye, because I really liked Okoye. She was dope.
That's valid.
And then
Malekith.
no, not Malekith. He can go die. Oh, he did.
Oh.
Dadgum, this is. I just need one more. Not Falcon. So you said OG4?
Yeah.
Okay, Black Widow then.
Cool.
I would put Black Widow in my top 10 for sure.
That's a good suggestion. Coulson is a good suggestion.
Yeah.
He just barely missed out, but I love Coulson. That's my boy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are my boy.
Yeah, Gump was Oh, wait. No, I take that back. I'm taking out... I'll probably take out... I don't remember what my list was now. I'll probably take out... I don't know. I'm taking somebody out and putting Kilgrave in there.
Yeah, that's...
Because Kilgrave is great.
Understandable.
And there's Spider-Man, too. I forgot about Spider-Man.
I'm going to take everybody
I'll have to
out.
do my list again at some other point because I forgot some of the characters.
I'm taking everybody out and replacing them with Iron Fist characters.
Oh, Lord.
That is a hot take. I said Spider-Man. Oh, wait, you
No, I didn't. I didn't think about Spider-Man. So, okay, here. Time out. I'll take out Jessica Jones, even though I love her. I love Jessica Jones, but I'll take her out. And I'll put Spider-Man in Jessica Jones' place.
Oh, no.
I'm taking out Rocket. And I'll put
You're
in
taking out all my favorite characters.
Kilgrave.
I think you need to write this down.
I will. I'll write it down.
How about we come
Here,
back?
you know what? Why don't you entertain for a little bit, and then I'll
Next
see if I
episode.
can... Yeah, next episode. We'll...
Okay, here's what I'll entertain about. In the chat, we have
Gump, who...
a non-hot take, a very cold take, that Jessica Jones Season 2 was absolute garbage.
But.
And that he hated every second of it. That's valid, and your opinion is valid, and I don't have a problem with it, apart from the fact that it's wrong. Jessica Jones Season 2 is not bad. I
Her
will
mom
speak
is.
to everybody. Oh! Wow, we're just an incredible tag team of destruction. Jessica Jones Season 2, it's not great. I'd put it, if I had, I would put it below most Marvel Netflix seasons. But there was a lot that I enjoyed about it. And also just because I love her character. It's just me. I know that everybody hates it, apart from
Who?
me. Huh?
I'm sorry, I was writing a list down. Who did you say?
Jessica Jones Season 2. I know that everybody hates it.
Oh, I didn't.
apart from me.
I liked it.
See, there
Like,
you
I
go.
enjoyed it.
There you go. But no, I enjoyed a whole lot about it. I like the fact that Jessica just constantly feels worse than she did before about stuff. I think that really harkens back to kind of like the detective character that she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pretty cool. Her mom was not good, but everything apart from her mom and that guy who always wore band t-shirts was pretty nice.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he would have Grateful Dead, Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
like all my favorite bands. I'm like, dude, you are too lame
You are
to wear
too
these
lame.
shirts. As if I'm not too lame to wear those shirts too. But yeah, it might just be the fact that I'm super invested in her and what her story is, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I really like the Jessica Trish dynamic, which I feel like was really expanded on in Jessica Jones Season 2.
Okay, I've got my list.
Nice, that was fast.
All right. Thanos, Loki, Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man, Kilgrave, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Rocket, and Groot. So no Jessica Jones. She's like 11th though, because she's amazing. I love her.
Understandable.
So, I didn't like her all that much in Defenders. So that's probably one of the reasons why. But yeah, no. Listen, honestly, Jessica Jones is one of the most underrated Netflix like originals, I think.
I don't know. I think a lot of people would put it second to Daredevil.
I don't think after season 2, because a lot of people hated season 2.
Or third,
Yeah.
after Luke Cage.
Yeah, but like I think most people thought that the success from season 1 was just basically off of her dynamic with Kilgrave, and then I think in this, like in season 2, she showed that she's so much better. Like she doesn't need really Kilgrave, except the best episode was when Kilgrave showed back up. Spoilers,
I
but
agree with that.
yeah, but it was she like the I forget who plays her. I forget her name.
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah, she is Jessica Jones. Like
She's
she
amazing.
is, and so I think that really seems well. Gump is just toxic. That's all Gump is toxic. So.
I'd rather have my arms ripped off and used as weapons to kill me then watch it.
Okay, let me ask you this then in the chat. Which was worse to you? Jessica Jones Season 2 or Iron Fist Season 1?
I don't want to know the answer to this
I
question.
do. Jessica Jones Season 2 or Iron Fist Season 1. And if you're a podcast listener, go ahead and comment as well which one you thought was worse.
Right.
Because I honestly think it's like Iron Fist, no question. Iron Fist Season 1 and 2 sucked.
Yes. No, I put both of those below Jessica Jones Season 2. I put Defenders below Jessica Jones Season 2 also.
Yeah, I would too. I would almost put one Luke Cage Season 2 probably under.
Oh, no.
No. Either, I don't know. Season 1 was pretty good.
Luke Cage Season 2 was better than the first
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it was.
I'd rank it actually pretty high in the Marvel Netflix.
Yeah. Nope, it's
series.
not that tough.
Yikes, that's tough.
It's not that tough.
Man.
It's not that tough. But honestly, I think Daredevil. I don't know which one. Which one? Daredevil Season 1 was probably my favorite. Maybe.
Season 3 is my favorite. Season 1 is very close.
Season 3 is really good. Basically, Daredevil, just in general, is my absolute favorite. I think, character-wise, it probably goes Daredevil, Punisher. Well, I don't know, because Punisher Season 2 is not that great. It's a little tough to go through. It'd probably go Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. That's probably how mine would go. And then Elektra is all the way at the bottom.
Oh no, it sucks because Elektra.
She's
was
great
cool in Daredevil Season.
And then
2.
Defenders came out and she was trash.
Yeah, I agree.
So Iron Fist had a horrible story, but Jessica Jones 2 was just so mean. She's a mean-spirited person. What do you expect?
Right.
She's a drunk with superpowers.
No,
what do you
it's
expect?
I get it, and I don't think it's for everybody.
Right.
I'm not trying to act like some ascended, galaxy
No, just
brain.
do it. Just do it.
I watch Rick and Morty, so I understand, all of this amazing comedy and writing. No, but I really don't think that every media is made for everybody.
Right.
There's a ton of things that just aren't made for me, and that's why I don't like them. So I can totally understand not liking Jessica Jones Season 2.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just like it a lot, and I have high hopes for Season 3.
I do too, and then it'll get canceled because that's sad. Yeah, that's but I do agree with Jordan in the chat. It's like saying you hate Thanos for being mean, for snapping away half the universe.
No.
I would because Jessica Jones is she is supposed to be like this. She was even I think she was the same way she was in Season 1.
Right. No, and the point of the entire cast was mean. Yes, I agree with that. I think almost the entire cast of Jessica Jones are poor human beings.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But that's interesting to me.
Yeah, I enjoy
I think
that.
that they make bad decisions. I think that something that I didn't like about Season 2 was that Malcolm just turned into a really lame guy.
I didn't even like Malcolm in Season 1.
Yeah. But I think that what Jerry had going on was interesting. Jerry Hogarth. I think that what Trish had and her and Jessica's dynamic was fantastic.
Except Trish did get on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think that some of the characters kind of took a turn for the worse, but I think that other ones were more interesting. And I don't think Jessica Jones is a conventional superhero show.
No.
And that's why a lot of my friends that I talk to don't like any of it, is because it's unconventional and there's not Daredevil action.
Right.
And stuff like that. And people function like real human beings, but they also kind of happen to suck sometimes.
Right, they're humans. They're going to mess up, that type of thing. Man, we really got on a tangent in this episode, which is great.
Yeah.
It's the best kind of episode. Trish was very annoying. I will give you that. In Season 2, she was quite annoying at times. But I do think I'm totally lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, I do see Jessica Jones Season 1 was probably by far one of the best. And I do think part of that is attributed to Kilgrave. But I think a lot of it is for just attributed to Jessica Jones as well. So I'm all for. I'm very excited for Season 3. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be.
It better be.
It better be because it's the last. It better be better than Punisher Season 2. Have you even gone through that anymore?
No, I'm 3 episodes in.
I'm still on episode 4 and I just haven't started watching it again.
I do want to finish it.
I did too. It's
I
just
still haven't done Iron Fist season 2 yet either.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 6 is coming out. I am 2 seasons behind. I've got to catch up. Are they still on Netflix?
I do. Yeah,
okay.
To my knowledge. But season 6 is very exciting.
Yes. So
very exciting. That's the Marvel TV that I'm looking forward to the most right now. Even though I love Jessica Jones, I can count on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to deliver.
Yeah. I would totally agree with that. I got to catch up on it though. I'll probably spend most of like spring break catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then because when's the
it's a very good show.
when does season 6 start? Is it
It's in July?
July. Okay, I've got time. I binge watch everything.
Like Mr. Incredible. Yeah,
I've got time. I wish I was Mr. Incredible. That'd be great. So yeah, do you have any other thoughts or anything else?
No,
Since this has been a fun episode.
I think we covered a lot of different bases.
I did. Yeah, I think we talked a little DC, talked a little Marvel. We even talked a little Star Wars. We talked about how Gump will love this. I've never seen Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, but I've seen all of the Twilight movies. Don't hate me for that. Yeah, so or do. I don't care.
I mean, I'm still.
If you hate me over that, then you're no better than the Captain Marvel fans who hate that movie. You're no better than Star Wars fans. You're no better than a pro wrestling fan. So you know what? I'm all three of those, and you can just go away. I don't really care.
Spend spring break watching Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and that will boost your credibility. And then you can watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They both said wait.
That was funny. That was really good synchronization.
Oh, they both said what, too? Look at that.
I have to, they both came in late.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You just kind of
dug your own grave again. That's totally fine. I'm fine with that. I'll say this. I'm not a bad boy at podcasting. Don't do that.
Because I'm a good boy at podcasting.
I'll tell you what. I will watch Lord of the Rings over spring break.
Yeah.
I'm not watching Harry Potter because Gumps yells at me every time he sees me or talks to me over it, and so I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not even going to try.
I think the Lord of the Rings movies are better than the Harry Potter movies, but I also think that Harry Potter is a little bit more integral to film pop. Well, what am I trying to say? I think that Harry Potter is more integral of a story to pop culture. But Lord of the Rings is better made and arguably more important.
Yeah. Well,
in broader film.
I have to watch Lord of the Rings during the day. Like that's my one problem is I have to catch it during the day. Otherwise it's not gonna it's so like I know it's a good movie. It's one of those slower movies that you just have to kind of go through.
I guess.
And so, like, if you start that type of movie at midnight, like, no matter how good it is, you're just going to pass out at some point. So I have to watch it during the day, which I will do throughout spring break. I'll watch all of them. I'll even watch The Hobbit. How about that?
Don't watch The Hobbit.
Oh, okay, I won't watch The Hobbit.
Don't watch The Hobbit. Yeah, don't watch Fantastic Beasts and don't watch The Hobbit.
I have no desire to see those.
Yeah, watch the good stuff.
I'll tell you what. I'll watch The Lord of the Rings, and Jason will watch all the Twilight, and then we'll come back and talk.
No.
All right, here's a question: Would you rather have to watch all the Twilight movies for the rest of your life, or Justice League for the rest of your life?
Don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Twilight, because it probably won't make my blood boil.
No, it's okay.
It's probably
super boring. The first Twilight movie isn't bad. Like, the first Twilight movie isn't that bad. Like, it's bad, but it's kind of like what I thought about Venom. Venom sucked, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But then after that, it got even worse. So, Nico would rather watch Justice League. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'd much rather watch paint dry, I think, than watch Justice League.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that. But by the time you get to Deathly Hallows Part 2 with Harry Potter, you're going to text me and you're going to be like, that was amazing.
Okay.
Deathly Hallows Part 2. Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite. Deathly Hallows Part 2 is amazing.
Okay. And
it's an amazing closer. And some of the movies in Harry Potter here and there aren't as good. as the other ones, but as a whole, they did a good job.
Okay. I'll watch them. See, I agree. We agree. Venom wasn't super bad.
You're dead to me.
It was bad.
No.
It was bad. Don't get us wrong. It was bad. It just wasn't.
Seen it, so I can't say.
It just wasn't super bad.
I haven't seen it because I refuse to watch it.
You need to watch it. You need to wait till it comes out on like Netflix or something, but you need to watch it.
So many other priorities. I'd rather watch Iron Fist season 2.
No, you don't. Trust me. Trust me. Venom is better than Iron Fist. I will go on record and say that Venom is better than Iron Fist.
Okay.
Venom.
Maybe I'll find that out someday.
Harry Potter is great long-term storytelling like pro wrestling. It probably does better than what pro wrestling does because they take their main person out of the main event at the last second because that's great. That's for Thursday though. Check out that podcast on Thursday because
I can't really contribute.
Yeah, I'll go on a rant about that. But yeah, like everybody is saying in the chat, Venom is bad, but it's not bad. Like it's worth a watch. It's not worth paying $11 for it like I did, but it's worth a watch at least. I will say that.
Maybe I'll pirate it.
Do that
One day when I'm super bored in 15 years.
Yeah, or like when you're playing a game, just have it on. Like it's one of those movies. It's one of those movies. Yeah. Watching Iron Fist season 1 or watch Harry Potter.
Wow, what a difficult choice.
I would probably say Harry Potter, but I've never seen it. And I'm probably not going to watch it because of Gump. So that's Gump has turned me off from watching Harry Potter.
You've already made the choice and watched Iron Fist season 1 and haven't watched Harry Potter.
That's true. But at the time, though, I thought Iron Fist was going to be good.
That's fair.
So I didn't know any better at that point. Now it would be like going back and watching Iron Fist season 1.
Yeah.
So, which would be dumb. That would be like going back and watching what was that great Marvel show? That only lasted for one season.
Inhumans.
Yeah, it'd be like going back and watching Inhumans. So yeah. Man, we've really gone off.
Yeah, we went off on a tangent about what you should watch and shouldn't watch.
I will watch Lord of the Rings. I promise I will watch Lord of the Rings. I don't know about Harry Potter. I'm not sold yet. And trust me, you guys aren't the first people to tell me that I have to watch Harry Potter. Gump, you didn't upset me. You didn't upset me as much as Bill Maher did. So
here's something I gotta say: we have listeners on different platforms, on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, I think, different
Google
places,
Plays.
Google Play. You know all of them. I don't. We also have we live stream on YouTube every time that we do this, every Tuesday night. So if you catch our live streams on Tuesday nights, I promise your experience will be enhanced because we have a chat.
Yes.
And if you have no idea what we're talking about and we're calling out different people in the chat, our YouTube live streaming is something that we really pay attention to while we're doing our podcast. And it's a lot of fun to kind of like have a live discussion going while we're doing this. So I will plug our YouTube live streams on Tuesday nights around 6:30 or 7 o'clock.
Sometimes later.
Check our Twitter.
Yes, we do post we do post about an hour or 30 minutes out before, and then as soon as it starts, we tweet that out as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and so make sure. And plus, we have been stuck at like 17 subscribers for like a month now. We need more subscribers. So subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Shameless plug, because obviously we've held your attention for this long.
Right. If you're still here, I am very proud of you. You are true fans of the Nerd Crew podcast. If you're listening to this, I'll say I'm very proud of you.
Yes.
But yeah, we are. I think that'll do it for this week's episode. Unless you have any other thoughts or tangents or anything else that you would like to plug.
I'm all right.
You're all good. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this week's episode of the Nerd Crew podcast. Like we said, you can follow us on all social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Nerd Crew Podcast. I forgot what social media was for a second. That's on me. You can email us at the Nerd Crew Podcast. Tell us what we're doing great, what we suck at, things like that. You can follow me on Twitter at I'm Andy York. Jason has a Twitter, but he doesn't like to share it. So yeah. Thanks, Gum. Thanks for the help. I really appreciate it. We need all the subscribers. We need more eyes on this wonderful, the best nerd podcast you can find. Yes, and subscribe to PewDiePie. Don't do that. I hate PewDiePie.
Oh no!
Another hot take.
Another episode.
But we're gonna end it. So follow me on Twitter at I'm Andy York. Jason doesn't have a Twitter. He has one, but he doesn't like you guys, so don't follow him. Next week we don't really know what our episode's going to be about yet. It just depends on what's happening or what news is broke, things like that. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, everything else, all that fun stuff. And we will catch you guys next week.